Let me present Mia. Apart from being a princess of the Tearmoon Empire, Mia is a normal girl. Average athletic ability, average looks, average intelligence, neither saintly nor demonic. Nothing to really set her apart from the average person. Nevertheless, she is viewed at different points both as a heinous criminal, deserving of brutal execution, and then later as a great sage, both wise and kind, who saved an empire. So, how does a normal girl get to be viewed in two such radically different lights? Well, that will be answered in the story I'm reviewing today. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Tearmoon Empire. Tearmoon Empire starts with the protagonist, Mia, getting decapitated. As openings go, it's a pretty good way to get the reader's attention. Why did she get decapitated? Well, the empire she's a part of just went through a plague. A famine, was on the verge of economic ruin, executed a noble who was popular with the common folk, and all that jazz led to revolt. Mia was more or less viewed as a Marie Antoinette figure, so yeah, her head, off with it. Anyways, she obviously doesn't stay dead, because then there wouldn't be much of a story. Rather, she revives 9 years prior to the point that her head lost contact with her body. And, since Mia isn't particularly fond of guillotines, she sets out to restore the Tearmoon Empire. What follows then is Mia getting all the good luck she didn't have in her past life. As she tries her hardest to avoid having her head end up on the guillotine, she somehow manages to develop a reputation for being wise and saintly, which is mostly undeserved. It happens in large part because everyone reads way too much into her words and actions, and manages to misinterpret them in a positive light. These misinterpretations make for great comedy fodder. And, as Mia is trying her best to improve herself and her kingdom anyways, this reoccurring joke is rather wholesome. As for the content of the story, in the first 2 volumes, it's had a mix of romance, politicking, and intrigue, economics lectures, duels, lots of baths, and mouth-watering discussions of food and cooking. So yeah, this story has something for pretty much everyone. Tearmoon Empire is a combination of 3 things that I previously thought were impossible to have together. It has all the wholesomeness of a slice-of-life story about a cute girl doing cute things, while also having a genuinely compelling fantasy plot and decent pacing. I don't quite understand how it does it, but it somehow keeps enough conflict in the story for us to worry about Mia and stay interested, while also being continually happy and funny, excluding the execution section at the beginning. I would have thought that this would have been something of a paradox before reading this story, and maybe the author won't be able to keep this up in future volumes, but props to them for doing it so far. It's made Tearmoon Empire both relaxing and fun to read. I also love how this series deals with redemption. The obvious part is that Mia was kind of a spoiled brat in her pre-guillotine life, so watching her post-guillotine reincarnation gradually become a better person is great. That's where most stories of this style would leave off. Hey, she was bad, met a bad end, now she's trying to change, yay! Tearmoon Empire doesn't stop there though. Mia notes that if all the do-gooders who overthrew her had called her out earlier, she would have changed earlier, and the violent revolution wasn't really necessary. In fact, when Ludwig, a government official, actually has the spine to stand up to her and tell her what she's doing wrong in her first life, she does actually try to fix things. She just doesn't get a proper chance since the revolutionaries are so keen to have their justice. This then makes for a poignant moment in Mia's second life when Scion, a literal Prince Charming who previously helped put Mia's head on the chopping block, has decided once again that he must kill some oppressive nobles in the name of justice, since it is the only option. Mia calls him out on this and asks whether he has ever considered that talking might be an option, and hey, maybe give people a chance to fix their mistakes, because unlike you, not everyone does things perfectly on their first try. We then get to see Scion's character grow beyond a justice-obsessed Mr. Perfect into someone who's more empathetic and pragmatic. This, and other instances like it in Tearmoon, reframe the story from simply being a single evil person getting a chance at redemption to, hey, most people make mistakes, but short of them being literal demonic cultists or some such, they're probably not evil. Let's give everyone a chance to grow. For me, this much more nuanced approach to morality is very much appreciated. The one thing that irritated me while reading Tearmoon is its tendency to gloss over some events. There were plenty of moments where Mia would have some new policy or course of action that she was going to take to help improve her empire. We get the build up to her arriving at the idea. She'd decide what she was going to do, and then... wait, we're done with that already? The implementation would be skimmed over really quickly. This also happens with some character introductions. Take Chloe, Mia's bookworm friend, as an example. We get some background on her, the motivation for Mia approaching her, and poof! Now they're great friends, skipping all the parts where they actually get to know each other. At certain times, reading Tearmoon kind of feels like the author just started writing up a section, got tired, said, I'll expand on it later, and then forgot about it and just went on writing the story. In a similar vein, I also feel that some characters have been sorely underdeveloped so far. The male characters don't do too badly, but the female characters, including the aforementioned Chloe, along with plot-relevant characters Tiona and Rafina, never get any real development beyond their introduction. I remember they exist because they do stuff that moves the story forward, but I had to look up their names while writing this since they were so unmemorable. To be fair, at the time of writing this script, only 2 volumes are translated, so hey, maybe this will change. Tearmoon may not be the best series I've read recently, but it's certainly the one that's had me the happiest while reading it. As such, I am happy to recommend it to everyone watching, so you too can watch Mia derp her way to greatness, one misunderstanding at a time, get addicted to the story, and then wait impatiently for J Novel Club to release the next chapter. If you've already read this and are looking for something similar, I'd recommend either My Next Life as a Villainess, Soul Roots Lead to Doom, as another story about a scatterbrained heroine avoiding death flags, or The Ascendance of a Bookworm, because I want another excuse to recommend that series. Anyways, thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this review. Cheers!